Welcome back to the Entrepreneurial Edge. I'm Chris Bishop. Now, as always, we continue to welcome your feedback and suggestions. So feel free to send an email to entrep@abn360.com or contact us on Twitter on @EntrepEdge. Still with us in the studio is Christo Fourie, the founder and MD of PCC, mining consultants and quantity surveyors. So just what exactly do you do in the mining industry in terms of with projects and capital investment? Just give us a short outline.
Yeah, quantity surveying is a term that not a lot of people understand. But our role in a new mining project is to assist the client and the engineering consultant to estimate the cost of that mining project. So if a new mine is being planned by the client, we assist in estimating the cost of that new mine and process plant, and then when the project gets executed, we assist the client to do the inquiry documents and the cost management of that project until the project's built and commissioned.
Now, these are, by anybody's reckoning, tough times in mining. There's been the massacre at Maracana, Lonmin, there's stoppages at Goldfields, there's been stoppages at Anglo-Plats, retrenchments. These are the toughest times that mining in this country has probably ever seen. What feeling are you getting from the industry that you're working with?
Yeah, it's a big concern for us because, you know, for the last 17 years, we've serviced those clients like Anglo Platinum and Kumba and Goldfields. And, you know, if projects are being stopped in South Africa and people don't invest in mining projects in South Africa, obviously it will affect our business and similar businesses that provide services to the mining houses. We see a lot of projects being put on hold, some projects being cancelled, especially in the Lonmin instance. And we can see at the moment a lot of CVs coming on the market of people that used to work on the Lonmin projects looking for work. So it's a concern.
I mean, last year, long before all this happened, people were complaining. They were saying there wasn't enough investment going on, there weren't enough new mines being built, that foreign investors were turning away from this country. What is the feeling you're getting on the ground?
I think that's a definite. People are very concerned. We've got some international clients, and every time we talk to them about possibility of investing in South Africa, they say there's countries with much less risk. They would rather invest there.
As an observer of the industry, what do you think should be done?
I think there must be much more done from the government side to assist the mining houses to keep their operating cost lower, because that's one of the big cost expenses, and the operating cost is made out of obviously big portion is labour cost. The labour cost at the moment affects most of the mining houses because their margins are very tight.
The labour costs are about 50% of overall mining costs. You're monitoring the costs of most of the big mines in this country. Where is the big cost push coming from in mining in South Africa right now?
I think you know, capital costs on new projects are quite high at the moment. And then obviously your operating cost, of which labour is a big portion. And that makes the returns for the clients to invest in new mining projects in South Africa very difficult.
I mean, one of the issues that has been raised during the recent months of unrest is some people have been saying, well, why don't the miners get paid out and everyone get back to work? Is it quite as simple as that?
I don't think it's as simple as that. I mean, some of the work that the people do underground is very tough. So, you know, people must look at paying fair salaries. I mean, we also get affected by mines and clients struggling because obviously our cost, when we submit our cost to clients, obviously they want to try and keep it as low as possible. So it's not a very good market at the moment.
Okay, well, this is big business for you. I see that you've said your turnover for 2012 was 142 million rand, which is, to say the least, tens of millions of dollars. Also, you're expanding, which is, I find quite interesting, to Australia, which also has its mining problems. There's been an unpopular royalty tax that's been mooted over there. What's the feeling you're getting from the competitors in the mining industry to African mining in Australia?
I think the reason we opened in Australia is there's a lot of junior miners in Australia that's doing a lot of development on new mining projects up in Africa. And they don't stop off in South Africa to acquire professional services here. So all the professional services are provided either out of Australia or from somewhere else in the world. And that's why we open an office there, so we can capture those clients that are junior miners that's doing quite a lot of developments up in Africa. We see Africa as a big growth in the mining industry. And with South Africa declining with new mining investments, that's where we think the future of the mining industry is going to be, is up in Africa.
What are the countries to watch, you think, in this continent, if you've got a savvy mind for mining investments? We've
identified Mozambique. Mozambique has got a current GDP of, I think, about 6.9%. A lot of potential, especially on the coal side.
The WOES project.
Yeah, the WOES project. We've got other clients that's looking at big coal developments there. And then obviously the gas find now up in the northern part of Mozambique. And infrastructure development. So we've identified Mozambique, Tanzania. We're doing some work in Tanzania. And then obviously the DRC, Republic of Congo, and Ghana. Those are the countries we've identified.
But just talking about Mozambique for an example, one of the great criticisms is there's still a huge infrastructure gap there. Everyone's saying that people are going to invest in infrastructure, but some of the coal we've just mentioned from the WOES, there's a struggle to actually ship it to port on the railway lines because they're not good enough. I mean, how long do you think that might last?
I think the planned new railway lines, I don't know if you're aware that Vale is planning a line through Malawi to Nkala. And then one of the other coal producers in Mozambique, a client, are also planning another railway line. And then there's plans to increase the port capacity at the Matola port. So I think, in the next 3 or 4 years, that infrastructure problem regarding the railways will be sorted out. To get the coal out.
Where do you see your company going in the face of all of this? I mean, do you think that more of your business is going to come from the rest of the continent and maybe less from here?
Definitely less from here, much more from the continent. We currently are doing 5 or 6 major projects outside South Africa for clients, international clients and South African-based clients. So definitely a growth outside the country.
And overall, the future of mining, how do you see it? I mean, it's getting a bad press at the moment. Do you think it's going to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ahead?
I think the gold mining industry is going to struggle in South Africa because of the depths of the mines the shafts you got to sink to get to it. And the same with platinum. A lot of platinum projects need to go quite deep to get to the platinum. So I think for the next couple of years, the mining industry in South Africa is going to be under extreme pressure to make money.
And where does this leave your company? Do you think that you're going to be increasing, expanding and prospering in the future?
Yeah, we're looking at expanding globally. We've identified South America as an area where there's going to be lots of development, especially in Colombia and Brazil and Chile. And then obviously looking possibility in Canada and then obviously up in Africa. That's where we see the expansion on the mining industry.
Well, you've come a long, long way in the last 17, 18 years as an entrepreneur. You've proved yourself. Is there an entrepreneur in the world that you would sort of look up to and somebody that you would listen to?
I think the guy that's always impressed me was the Rupert, Johan Rupert or Anton Rupert. He impressed me from where he started and where he ended up. He also started walking the streets, selling his company's products. He always impressed me. And
further afield in the world, have you anybody you sort of look up to out there?
No, not really. I think Cynthia Carroll is doing quite well in a male-dominated industry.
That is mining, yes.
Yeah, so she's got some challenges, and it's quite tough out there for her. But yeah, I think she's a good model for people, especially women.
And as an entrepreneur, I mean, how do you want people to look on you and remember you as an entrepreneur? I mean, what do you think?
My feeling is that, as an entrepreneur, you've got to be remembered that the legacy you've left behind and the work that you've created for families and the support that you've given them. That's the most important for me.
And somebody watching this who's just starting out or thinking about starting out, what would you say to them?
It's hard work, It's not easy. It's a tough market, but you got to keep your head down and work hard, and the rewards will come.
And I understand also you've purchased a farm in the Free State, your grandfather's trade, and you're running cattle there. Is that how you see yourself in the future?
Yeah, that's sort of my retirement plan. But you know, when you speak to people, when you buy a farm, it just costs you money to maintain it. But I think when you retire, you need to do something. You can't just not do anything. So I've always wanted to buy a small farm, which I've managed 8 years ago. It now is self-sufficient, so I'm very happy with what I've achieved there.
So you'd be happy to settle down on the farm one day?
Yeah, just to, you know, keep me busy with a couple of cattle, and then I've also put some exotic game on it now. So yeah, I'm sure that's going to keep me busy.
Christo Fourie, the founder of PCC. Thank you very much indeed for sharing us the stories and your insights in the mining industry on this program. That's all we have time for on this week's edition of the Entrepreneurial Edge. Until then, from me, Chris Bishop, it's goodbye.